Hello there, I'm Presley, and today I will be going over the events of and giving my overall thoughts on episode 22 of the Bleach 1000-Year Blood War. Now, this episode covers chapters 587, a few pages of 588, 589 to 591. So, just a little bit over 4 chapters. Now, the episode starts off where we left off last time, with Ichigo, Orihime, and Chad looking up to where Uryu is. You know, with Ichigo screaming out trying to get answers from Uryu. You know, Uryu, Yugrum, and Yhwach all vanish into the Pillar of Light. Of course, Orihime rushes over to where Ichigo and Chad are, trying to use her shield to block the sudden force being blown their way from where this Pillar of Light has disappeared. Of course, it's strong enough where it sends all 3 of them flying. You know, we see them after they land, they're all fine. We have a bit of talking between the 3 of them for a bit, with Ichigo ultimately stating that whether Uryu's reasoning for doing this is good or whether it's bad, he doesn't care. He's going to smack him and bring him back anyway. Of course, then we see Kisuke show up. And, you know, he mentions, like, hey, do you want me to help you get up to the Royal Palace? Of course, while this is happening, we also cut over to Sunsui, you know, to where we see his reaction to Uryu, Yugrum, and Yhwach vanishing in the Pillar of Light, obviously. Then the opening theme plays. Then, of course, we see the petals of Zenbone Sakura. We see them start to disappear from where they've surrounded Byakuya to shield him. We see Nananana, Candice, and Robert surrounding Byakuya. We cut over to see Iba and the now fully animal version of Konomura, you know, to where they'd been temporarily buried under some rubble from this. But, you know, they're fine. We then cut over to Renji and Rukia, where we see where Renji has used his Bankai to shield both him and Rukia from the falling debris. And, you know, of course, Rukia and Renji, who both recognize the spiritual pressure that was up there, you know, of course they wonder why Uryu has joined up with Yhwach, obviously. Of course, then we see Basby appear in front of them. And, you know, he mentions, hey, you guys don't like Uryu, I don't like Uryu. Why don't we work together? You know, to which we then see the hand part of Renji's Bankai crush the rubble that it was holding up. And, of course, Renji states that they don't need this help, that, you know, they can take down Uryu on their own. And of course, Renji does insult Basby's hairstyle when he's saying this as well. So, you know, of course this infuriates Basby, obviously. And of course Basby's like, wow, I can't believe you'd say that about my awesome hairstyle. You know, I thought you had some taste because of those cool eyebrows of yours, but I guess I was wrong. You know, despite Basby just threatening to kill them, Renji's first reaction is, of course, you know, oh, you think my eyebrows are cool? You're such a great guy. Of course, then Basby uses Banner Finger 4 to send a large blast hurling towards Renji and Rukia. You know, we cut over to Ikkaku and Yumachika, where we see where they've cornered Giselle. Of course, there's a bit of talking between these characters for a bit. You know, Giselle's like, oh, no, you don't want to cut me. And of course, Yumachika's reaction to this is like, oh, be careful, Ikkaku. She's clearly trying to goad you into cutting her, so it's probably something to do with her blood, so don't do it. You know, we get a bit more talking. Ultimately, Giselle calls out for Bambietta. You know, we see these explosions happen near Ikkaku and Yumachika, and we see where Bambietta's zombified corpse has appeared. We cut over to Kisuke in the lab of the Department of Development and Research. Of course, Ichigo ultimately asked Kisuke, hey, why is there one of these cannons down here? And, you know, Kisuke states that, you know, Mayuri built it. Of course, Kisuke explains a bit about how this cannon isn't exactly a one-to-one copy of the Shiba family's cannon. Of course, then we see Yoichi jump down into the room. You know, Kisuke asks her if she got what he needed. You know, she opens up her coat, to show several canisters of something. And we see Hiyori appear on the screen behind them. And, Kisuke explains that the things that they have in the canisters are the energy from the distortions that the Quincy's caused between the boundary of the world of the Soul Reapers and the world of the living. And, he states that, this energy will be able to power this launch pad, but, only once, of course. Of course, we cut back over to Ikaku and Yumachika. We see the two of them running. We see explosions going off behind them. Ikaku wonders if she has an unlimited source of these bombs, but Yumachika explains how he thinks that her powers work. Of course, Ikaku then rushes towards Bambietta, assuming that, if he can get close enough to cut her, then, he won't have to worry about the bombs. And, Yumachika uses Hado 57 to, tear up parts of the ground and send them flying into the air near Ikaku, to kind of give him a bit of cover as he gets closer, obviously. And, he gets close enough to stab into Bambietta. Of course, she grabs a hold of his head and, starts charging of a blast near Ikaku's head, only for Yumachika to show up right next to Ikaku and cut off Bambietta's arm. Of course, Giselle then states that there's nothing that they can really do to kill Bambietta, because she's already dead. Then, of course, we see a blinding light, and it is none other than Mayuri. Ikaku states that it's so bright that they can't see, but based off the voice, he would assume that it's Mayuri that has shown up. Yumachika then follows that up by stating, even if they couldn't hear him, there's only one person that would dress like that. We see Bambietta appear in front of Giselle. We see Giselle hit Bambietta, Of course, we didn't see Bambietta send several bombs towards Mayuri. Nimue pulls him out of the way, up into the air. We see Bambietta jump up into the air after them, sending more attacks forward. To which we then see Mayuri open up a case that unleashes several of these round ball-shaped containers, which trap Bambietta's attack in them, and, they start falling back down towards Bambietta and Giselle, and, they then finally activate when they get close to them, exploding. Of course, Mayuri explains that this is a reishi locking device, that it halts the activity of spirit energy when it comes into contact with it for a short period of time. Of course, then we see several other people come on out, and, they are all zombies under Giselle's control, and they're all members of the 11th Division. Ultimately, though, Mayuri does call out his newest creations, which are a bunch of revived Arancars. So basically, his own zombies. And of course, we see Dordoni. Of course, we see Charlotte Coolhorn. There's the one woman whose name I can't remember how to pronounce off the top of my head, but, the one with the purple hair that fought Uryu and Pesce, when Ichigo and them went to go save Wahime from Aizen. And then, of course, there's also Luffy. We have a bit of arguing between the Arancars before, Mayuri, temporarily lights them on fire. And, we see the four of them attacking the zombified members of the 11th Division. We then cut over to where we see Giselle reattaching Bambietta's arm. We see Charlotte Coolhorn approach Giselle, and, they talk for a bit, until Bambietta sends several bombs towards Charlotte. Of course, Charlotte gets close enough to where they grab Bambietta and throw her into a wall. Of course, Charlotte then uses a special hot ray Sero attack, to blast away Bambietta when she comes rushing towards Charlotte again. Of course, Giselle watches as Bambietta is sent off, and is like, oh well, you can come out now, Captain. And, of course, we then see a zombified Captain Hitsugaya walk forward. And, of course, the ending theme plays. Now, the ending poem from this episode is a new poem from the perspective of Mayuri. Now, in regards to my overall thoughts for the episode, I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it. It's really cool finally being able to see that reveal of the zombified Hitsugaya in the anime. But yes, I think that the Giselle and Yumachika and Ikaku fight was done really well. I cannot wait for next week's episode. Well, this is where I'm going to end this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!